There is one spot on a woman's body that, when kissed correctly, at the right moment with the right intention, can bypass every wall she has up and ignite a level of desire that most men spend their entire lives never knowing how to reach. But here is what nobody is telling men over 60. Most of you are still relying on the same approach you have used for decades, the familiar, comfortable lip-to-lip kiss. And while that kiss still carries love and warmth, it has quietly lost its power to ignite what it once ignited. Her body has changed, her psychology has evolved, and the triggers that used to work automatically no longer work the same way they used to. That is not a failure. That is simply biology and time doing what they do. The men who understand this, the ones who stop repeating the same approach and start learning what actually works now, are the ones who experience a level of intimacy after 60 that most couples only dream about. The spot I am about to share with you is not where you think it is, and the fact that most men have never been taught about it is not their fault. But staying ignorant about it after today, that part is on you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what that spot is, exactly where it is, and exactly how to kiss it in a way that will completely transform the intimate experience between you and your partner. Let's begin. Welcome back to the channel. If you are here for the first time, my name is Dr. Julia Rhodes. I am a certified men's sex therapist with over a decade of clinical experience working closely with men and couples across all walks of life. My specific area of focus, the work that drives everything I do, is helping men over 60 rediscover, reclaim, and deepen the intimate connection in their relationships. Not with tricks, not with gimmicks, but with real, research-backed knowledge that most men were simply never given. Every week, I bring you honest, clinically grounded, research-backed content specifically designed for men who refuse to accept that the best years of their intimate lives are behind them. Because they are not even close. If that is the kind of content you have been looking for, you are in exactly the right place. And what I have for you today is one of the most practical and immediately actionable videos I have ever created. So let's make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Before I go any further, and I promise you what is coming in this video is genuinely worth every second of your time, I need to ask you one thing. If you are a man over 60 who is serious about understanding his partner more deeply, about reclaiming the physical and emotional intimacy that makes a relationship feel truly alive, then this channel was created specifically for you. Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a video, because the conversation we are having today, and every week on this channel, is one that has the power to genuinely transform your relationship. Now, let's get into it. Why most men are kissing the wrong spots entirely. I want to start by saying something that I think most men over 60 genuinely need to hear. You are not doing it wrong because you are careless. You are not doing it wrong because you don't love her. You are doing it wrong, if you are doing it wrong, because nobody ever taught you anything different. And the approach you learned worked beautifully for a long time, so you kept using it. That approach for most men looks like this: a kiss on the lips, sometimes soft, sometimes passionate. The classic, familiar, intimate greeting of two people who love each other. And for years, perhaps decades, that kiss carried enormous power. It communicated desire. It opened doors. It initiated closeness in a way that felt natural and effective. But here is what has changed. As women move through their 40s, 50s, and into their 60s, the nature of their arousal changes significantly. The spontaneous, easily triggered desire of younger years gives way to what researchers call responsive desire. A form of arousal that does not activate automatically, but instead responds to the right conditions, the right context, and the right kind of touch. And the lip-to-lip kiss, as loving as it is, has for many women at this stage of life become associated with routine, with habit, with the comfortable but unstimulating rhythm of daily life together. It is not that she doesn't love your kiss. She does. It is that her body and mind now require something more deliberate, more targeted, and more psychologically engaging to move from comfort into desire. Most men, unaware of this shift, continue kissing the same spots in the same ways, and then quietly wonder why the response they used to receive is no longer there. They assume the problem is her, or their age, or the relationship itself. But the problem is simply information, or the lack of it. The men who understand that her arousal map has changed, and who take the time to learn the new map, discover that the intimacy available to them in their 60s is not lesser than what they experienced in their 30s. In many ways, it is richer, deeper, more emotionally connected, and more physically satisfying than anything they experienced when they were younger. But it requires a different approach, a more intentional approach. And it starts with understanding what actually makes a spot powerful, which brings us to the most important thing I am going to teach you before the reveal. What makes a spot powerful? The psychology of touch and arousal. Here is the question that most people never think to ask, and yet it is the most important question in this entire conversation. Why do certain spots on the body produce such a dramatically different response than others? The answer is not as simple as nerve endings, though nerve density absolutely plays a role. The real answer is a combination of physiology, psychology, and emotional meaning. And understanding all three is what separates a man who knows where to kiss from a man who truly knows how to kiss. Let's start with the physiology. Certain areas of the body contain a significantly higher concentration of nerve endings than others. These areas, what researchers call erogenous zones, are exquisitely sensitive to touch, pressure, temperature, and the gentle stimulation of the lips. When these areas are stimulated correctly, they send powerful signals through the nervous system that activate the brain's arousal centers, trigger the release of oxytocin and dopamine, and begin the physiological process of desire. But here is what the research reveals that most people don't know. The physical sensitivity of an erogenous zone is only one part of the equation. Studies consistently show that the psychological context in which that zone is touched matters just as much, and in many cases, even more than the physical stimulation itself. What does that mean in practical terms? It means that the same spot, touched in the same way, will produce a completely different response depending on whether the woman feels emotionally safe, seen, and desired in that moment, or whether she feels rushed, pressured, or disconnected. A touch delivered with presence, intention, and genuine desire activates arousal in a way that the identical touch delivered mechanically or impatiently simply cannot replicate. This is why so many men find themselves doing what they believe to be the right things and still not getting the response they hope for. The problem is not the spot. The problem is the absence of the psychological conditions that allow the spot to work. And there is a third layer, emotional meaning. For women, particularly in long-term relationships, the most powerful erogenous zones are not just physically sensitive, they are emotionally significant. They are areas of the body that carry a sense of vulnerability, of being truly seen and desired as a woman, not just as a partner in routine. When a man approaches those areas with that level of intentionality and emotional presence, the response is not just physical. It is deeply, profoundly intimate. This is the psychology behind the spot I am about to reveal to you. And this is why I needed you to understand this before I told you where it is. Because knowing the location without understanding the psychology is like being handed a key without knowing what door it opens. Now, before I give you the reveal, there are 3 specific conditions that must be in place first. And without them, even the right spot, kissed the right way, will not produce the response you are looking for. The 3 things that must happen before the spot even works. We are almost there. But before I tell you where this spot is, I need to give you the 3 conditions that transform a kiss from a gesture into an experience. These are not suggestions. They are requirements. And the men in my practice who have implemented them consistently describe transformations in their intimate relationships that they genuinely did not believe were still possible. Condition number 1. Emotional safety must come first. I have said this before on this channel, and I will keep saying it because it is the foundation of everything. For most women, and especially for women over 60, physical desire is preceded by emotional safety. She needs to feel seen, valued, desired as a whole person, not just in this moment, not just physically, but as the woman she is. That feeling does not appear on demand. It is built over hours, over conversations, over small, consistent acts of presence and appreciation. If there is emotional tension between you, unresolved conflict, distance, disconnection, the most perfectly placed kiss in the world will not land the way it should. Her nervous system will be in a state of guardedness, not receptivity. So before you think about the spot, think about the state of connection between you. Have you been present today? Have you looked at her? Really looked at her? and let her know with your eyes and your words that she matters to you? Have you created the emotional warmth that makes her body feel safe enough to open? If yes, you are ready for condition 2. Condition number 2. Slowness is not optional. Research on touch and arousal is remarkably consistent on this point. Slow touch activates arousal in ways that fast or mechanical touch simply cannot. When you move slowly, when every gesture communicates that you are in no rush, that this moment is the only moment that matters, her nervous system shifts from alert to receptive. Her body begins to anticipate, and that anticipation is itself a form of arousal. Most men, particularly those who feel some anxiety around intimacy, unconsciously speed up. They rush past the buildup. They move too quickly from warmth to intensity. And in doing so, they bypass the very physiological process that makes intensity possible. Slow down. Deliberately, consciously, almost uncomfortably slow. Let your hands rest. Let your breath deepen. Let the moment stretch before you move toward her. The pause before the kiss is part of the kiss. Condition number 3. Your presence must be total. This is perhaps the most powerful and most overlooked condition of all. Women are extraordinarily sensitive, far more than most men realize, to whether or not a man is truly present in an intimate moment. Not physically present, mentally, emotionally, and intentionally present, focused entirely on her. Not on performance, not on what comes next, not on whether he is doing it right, on her. When a woman feels that quality of presence, that she has your complete and undivided attention, that the only thing in your world in this moment is her, something shifts. Her body relaxes, her mind quiets, and the space opens for genuine, deep arousal to emerge. These 3 conditions, emotional safety, deliberate slowness, and total presence, are the environment in which the spot works. Create this environment first, and then the one spot. The neck. That is the spot. Specifically, the side of the neck. The soft, exposed, vulnerable stretch of skin that runs from just below the ear down toward the collarbone. This area, in the women I work with clinically and in the research literature on female arousal, emerges consistently as one of the most powerfully erogenous non-genital zones on the entire female body. And I want to explain to you exactly why, because understanding this will change the way you approach it entirely. First, the physiology. The neck is home to an extraordinary concentration of nerve endings, blood vessels, and sensory receptors. The skin there is thin, soft, and exquisitely sensitive to the warmth and pressure of lips. When kissed gently and deliberately, the nerve signals generated in this area travel directly to the brain's sensory cortex, triggering a cascade of neurological and hormonal responses that include the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and dopamine, the pleasure and desire hormone. In simple terms, kissing her neck correctly triggers her brain's chemistry of desire in a way that very few other forms of touch can replicate. But the physiology is only half of the story. The neck carries profound psychological significance that amplifies its physical sensitivity enormously. The neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. Exposing it, allowing someone to approach it, to touch it, to kiss it, is an act of profound trust. Instinctively and evolutionarily, offering the neck to someone is a gesture of complete safety and surrender, of openness. When a woman allows her partner to kiss her neck, she is not just experiencing a physical sensation, she is experiencing a deeply psychological act of trust, vulnerability, and intimacy. And when that kiss is delivered with the presence, the slowness, and the emotional safety we just discussed, the combination of physical stimulation and psychological significance creates an arousal response that is unlike almost anything else. There is also the element of the breath. When you kiss her neck, particularly the area just below and behind the ear, she can feel your breath. Warm, slow, deliberate. That breath, combined with the gentle pressure of your lips, creates a multisensory experience that engages not just touch, but temperature, scent, sound, and the deeply intimate awareness of your physical closeness. Research on multisensory arousal consistently shows that engaging multiple senses simultaneously produces a significantly stronger arousal response than stimulating any single sense alone. The neck kiss, done correctly, does exactly this. And finally, there is the emotional dimension. The neck is not a spot that gets kissed in the course of daily routine. It is not the cheek you kiss hello, or the forehead you kiss goodnight. When you approach her neck with intention, when you gently move her hair aside, when you lean in slowly, when you let your lips rest there with full presence, you are communicating something that words often cannot. You are saying, I see you. I desire you. You are not just my partner in the logistics of life. You are the woman I want, deliberately and completely right now. That message, delivered through the simple act of a kiss in the right place at the right time, lands in a way that bypasses the rational mind entirely and speaks directly to the emotional and physical body. That is the spot. That is why it works. And now, let me show you how to do it correctly. Knowing the spot is one thing, mastering it is another. And the difference between a neck kiss that produces a polite smile and one that produces a sharp intake of breath and a complete shift in her body, that difference lives entirely in the execution. Let me walk you through exactly how to do this correctly. The approach, before your lips even touch her. The kiss begins long before your lips make contact. Remember condition 3, total presence. Before you move toward her, be fully in the moment. Put everything else down, look at her. Let her feel your attention on her. Move toward her slowly. If she is seated or standing near you, position yourself close enough that she can sense your proximity before you touch her. Let that anticipation build for just a moment. If her hair is covering her neck, gently, and I mean gently, move it aside. That single gesture, done with care and intention, communicates desire more powerfully than almost anything you could say. It tells her that you are not here by accident. You are here for her, specifically, deliberately. The first contact. Lips, pressure, and temperature. Begin with the lightest possible pressure. Not a firm kiss, a brush. The gentlest possible contact between your lips and the skin of her neck just below the ear. Hold it there. Do not move immediately. Let the warmth of your lips rest against her skin for 2, 3, 4 full seconds. Let her feel your breath. Slow your breathing deliberately. A slow exhale against her neck is one of the most powerfully arousing sensations this spot can produce. Then move slowly down the neck toward the collarbone. Not in a hurry, not with a destination in mind, with pure, unhurried presence. Each kiss slightly slower and slightly warmer than the last. The pressure. How firm is correct? This is where most men make their biggest mistake. They move from gentle to firm too quickly, and in doing so, they shift the experience from sensual to physical before her body is ready for that transition. The correct progression is feather light to gentle to warm to firm over the course of several minutes, not several seconds, minutes. If she responds, if her breathing shifts, if her body moves toward you, if she makes any sound of pleasure, that is your signal to stay exactly where you are and continue at the same pace. Her response is your guide. Follow it. The pace. Slow is not slow enough. Whatever pace you think is right, go slower. Research on touch and arousal is unambiguous. Slow, deliberate touch activates the sensory receptors in the skin in a way that fast touch simply does not. There are specific nerve fibers in the skin, called C-tactile afferents, that respond most powerfully to gentle, slow stimulation. These nerve fibers are directly connected to the brain's emotional and social processing centers. They are, in the most literal neurological sense, the fibers of intimacy. When you move slowly, you are not just being patient. You are activating a specific biological system designed to create feelings of closeness, safety, and desire. Speed bypasses the system entirely. The breath, your most underestimated tool. Use your breath intentionally. A slow, warm exhale against the skin of her neck, particularly in the area just behind and below the ear, produces a sensation that many women describe as one of the most immediately arousing experiences in intimacy. Do not hold your breath. Do not breathe too heavily. Breathe slowly, warmly, and naturally, as if this moment is so comfortable and so present that your entire body has relaxed into it. The words. Optional but powerful. If words feel natural, use them. Not loudly, not performatively, but quietly, close to her ear, in the same slow and deliberate rhythm as everything else. Something as simple as her name, spoken softly, or a single sentence, "You are beautiful," delivered not as a line but as a truth. These words in this context, with your lips near her ear and your presence completely focused on her, land with a depth that the same words spoken across a dinner table simply cannot replicate. What to avoid? Do not rush to other areas. The temptation, especially once you feel her responding, is to move quickly toward escalation. Resist it completely. Stay with the neck. Let the experience deepen where it is before it expands elsewhere. Do not check her reaction anxiously. Presence means being absorbed in the experience, not monitoring it. Trust the process. Trust the spot. Trust the conditions you have created. And do not make this transactional. This is not a technique deployed to achieve an outcome. It is an expression of genuine desire and attention. The moment it becomes mechanical, its power disappears entirely. Let me bring everything together for you. Today we covered a journey from the problem of the lip to lip kiss that has quietly lost its igniting power, through the psychology of what makes any spot on a woman's body truly powerful, through the 3 essential conditions that must exist before any of this works, all the way to the reveal, the mastery, and the precise execution of one of the most powerful intimate gestures available to a man over 60. The spot is the neck. But as I hope you now understand, the spot is never just the spot. It is the emotional safety you built before you approached her. It is the slowness that told her nervous system this moment was safe. It is the total presence that communicated she was the only thing in your world. It is the warmth of your breath, and the gentleness of your lips, and the intentionality that transformed a physical gesture into an experience of genuine, deep intimacy. That is what changes relationships. Not tricks, not techniques deployed in isolation, but the combination of knowledge, intention, presence, and love applied with patience and consistency to a partner who deserves all of it. The men who do this, the men who take what they learn here and bring it home with genuine commitment, are the men whose partners lean into them, who reach for them, who rediscover a desire they thought time had taken away. That can be you. It absolutely can be you, and it starts tonight. If today's video gave you something real, a new understanding, a new approach, a renewed sense of what is possible in your relationship, then please do one thing for me right now. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this video with a man in your life who needs to hear it. A friend, a brother, a son. Because this conversation is too important and too rarely had. Every single week on this channel, I bring you exactly this kind of honest, research-backed, clinically grounded knowledge about men's sexual health and intimacy. Knowledge designed to help you show up fully for yourself and for the woman in your life. Leave me a comment below and tell me, did this video change the way you think about intimacy? I read every single comment, and your response shapes every video I create next. This channel is for you every week without fail. I'm Dr. Julia Rhodes. I'll see you in the next one.